The first day of 4th grade. Magical, right? Well, for me, I just moved to Cincinnati 2 days before the first day of 4th grade. So I show up to 4th grade, not knowing anybody. I sit in the back row, look straight ahead, trying not to be seen and not to be noticed. The teacher walks in. Children, Dr. Ward's coming in a moment. Be on your best behavior. And I'm still sitting back here. Doctor, I'm expecting a stethoscope, a white coat, maybe glasses. He's going to come in here and ask us if we ate our vegetables. And I'm ready for that because my parents make me eat vegetables. I'm ready. All of a sudden, a man walks in full head-to-toe costume of ALF. And if you don't remember who ALF was, it was a guinea pig alien that ate cats. A TV show from the late 80s, early 90s. Very scary. For a 4th grader sitting back here to see a 6'2" man walk in dressed like a guinea pig, that's scary. That's disturbing for a 4th grader. So this man comes around and says, "How many books did you read this summer? How many books did you read this summer?" And I'm sitting back here shaking. I know I'm next. My hands are going, my feet are going. What am I going to say? See, I didn't know there was a program. I didn't know that this school had a summer reading thing that I was supposed to keep track. So he comes to me. "How many books did you read this summer?" I stand up, walk out of the room crying. And now I'm standing outside. What do? This was a disaster. This thing could not have gone any worse. My heart was telling me, you got to go back in. I just wanted to walk home. I wanted to go home, crawl in bed. But again, my heart said, you have to go back in. So I walked back in, and the teacher gave me that reassuring nod. Luckily, she didn't make a bigger deal out of it. She recognized the situation, just said, and I sat back down. I didn't say a word. But I felt heroic at that moment. I should have walked home. That's what the normal person would have done. But I decided to walk back in and sit back down. And we all have those moments where we need to make a choice. And you can decide to cower, to hide, or you can decide to be a hero. Be somebody who does what the average person wouldn't. And defining moment today, you can decide that you're never going to be afraid to walk into a room. But how do we deal with pain? Because I was still in pain. I still had hurt. But we have to deal with pain in the right way. And that's to remove the source completely. You've heard of pull the Band-Aid off, right? You have to pull it off completely. And it reminds me of a story in Belgium. I was 19. I was on the floor building a model for my engineering class. I have 250 toothpicks laying around in an unorganized mess, and I'm building something. I get up, walk towards the door, and boom! The toothpick drives straight through my foot. Halfway. I fall to the ground. yell for Melissa, please help me. I'm murdered. I can't, I don't know what I just did, but I need your help. And she comes running in like a little surgeon, kind of laughs at me for a second because I'm crying there, laying there holding my foot. And she says, okay, no problem, we'll take care of this, no big deal. Like, she goes and gets tweezers, and she starts pulling that toothpick out. But every time she pulls, it slivers and splinters. This is a disaster. She's down there for 30 minutes pulling out these little slivers of wood from my foot. Now it got so bad, she had to call in for reinforcements. She brings her mom upstairs. And her mom walks upstairs with a 750 milliliter bottle of some cheap Russian vodka. And which is strange to me because her mom doesn't drink. And so I was thinking, why does she have that bottle of vodka? And she just looks at me and says, this is your medicine. And I look at that vodka, and okay. So I start drinking it, and it's going down like water. I didn't realize how thirsty I was. And this stuff was tasting great. So now I have 2 surgeons working on my foot, and I'm quenching my thirst as fast as I can. So they're down there 30 more minutes pulling slivers. The next morning, though, I wake up. My foot is throbbing. And my head is throbbing. I look around, I see my model I was supposed to be building, and I know it's due in 6 hours. So I have to get back down on the floor and continue building this model. And that bottle of vodka was still sitting there. I couldn't deal with the vodka, but I finished that model. And what I learned was that whenever you get hurt, whether it's physically, emotionally, you have to remove the toothpick completely. Because I could have broke that toothpick off at the surface and just learned how to hobble a little bit, lived with the pain, but that pain would have festered and disabled me eventually. You have to get rid of the toothpick. You have to eliminate the pain. You have to walk back in the room.